Anomaly Agents. Once praised as the best, now with a shell of its former glory. But which agent is the best of them all? Today we are going to be ranking them all with the most recent release of Aria to find out who is number 1. The rules will be as followed. A ranks will be considered Mindscape 6, R0, while S rank will be considered Mindscape 0, R0. But if certain signatures play a huge part in their performance, it will be mentioned. How effective they are across the game in endgame modes, Shiyu Defense, Deadly Assault, and Threshold Simulation. But since Deadly Assault is the most important, huge bonus points will be awarded since it technically covers 2 modes, that also being Threshold Simulation. Each Anomaly Agent will also have a matchup chart for all the current possible Deadly Assault bosses, judging performance from either bad, average, or good. Simple summary is, bad means it's not recommended to attempt with this character, average means you can brute force your way to a 3-star clear, and good means it's a cakewalk. Finally, how much value does said agent add to your account if they cannot function well without multiple things such as extreme builds or expensive S-ring agents? This will be noted as well. And with that, let's spin into our number 9 spot, Piper. Being released in version 1.0, this girl is the epitome of Anomaly Agents. While she may have ranked the lowest, she isn't unusable by any means, as players are still able to clear Vesper with her. Some of her biggest strengths being her extremely fast Anomaly buildup on her EX special attack, and a pretty nice energy recovery passive at Mindscape 4, while also being a party-wide buffer when she has 20 stacks of power. This isn't bad by any means, and it's easily active as long as you have Anomaly's ideal support Yuzuha. Otherwise, activating her core passive can be hard outside of Bernice due to the restriction of requiring a physical or faction agent. However, her being last means she does have some massive negatives. Let's look at her overall multipliers. 18% damage boost for the party, 20 energy gain on M4. This is just the struggle of older units and power creep. Her EX special attack, while great when it works, can be also a hindrance in more aggressive fights, making it hard to fully utilize alongside a lackluster basic attack combo. Can make building back energy fast somewhat hard. Finally, her Deadly Assault matchup chart. Right now, outside of Miasmic Fiend, there aren't too many great fights for her. This is more of an issue with Anomaly as a whole, but something to keep note of, most of her fights are average at best. Honestly, it was a tough fight for 8th. There are a few reasons Grace slightly outplays Piper thanks to her most recent potential boost. Main reason is her access to the Bloom mechanic, with Deadly Assault now showing it will buff up Bloom damage by itself, so it helps to have it if possible. Even as a 1.0 unit, she does have a great basic attack combo, which helps massively in these more aggressive fights. Her ultimate buff turning into a stationary bomb thrower is also pretty decent during stun windows, but can be a hindrance in active combat. But like all units, it's her negatives that really hold her back. Simply, she is too selfish for mediocre damage numbers. She doesn't help any allies until she reaches Mindscape 1 with a small energy boost. Her core passive ability is actually awful. She requires an electric or faction agent, and too long don't read, Bellabog sucks, which really limits her teammates. While looking at her Deadly Assault matchup chart, you can see she does have more favorable matches, but when looking at Marionette, I only gave it a good status since at a very small point in time, they replaced the ether weakness with electric, and the fight conditions also boosted electric damage. This info will also apply to Yanagi when she is mentioned, but all of these fights being before version 2.0 doesn't allow them to show up often. Unlike the last two, this is a pretty big jump when we reach 7th. Even as a 1.1 unit, Jane Doe's usefulness hasn't dropped too far. While at one point some players put her and Piper at the same level on tier lists, I think there are a few things that pushes her ahead, mainly when it comes to her playstyle. First, having a top 3 basic attack rotation in Anomaly is fast, covers a lot of area, can really close the gap in these much more aggressive fights, starting with version 2.0. Alongside the best dodge, makes it so in a skilled player's hands, you can really see how much damage she can deal. And unlike Piper, she can actually cause Assault Anomaly procs to crit, which is great in double physical setups such as with Alice. Not to mention, to be the first Anomaly agent to have a core passive that allows her to be paired with any Anomaly agent is huge, and should have been added to Grace, but oh well. But when looking at her negatives, there are too many things that hold her back, such as her passive state being hard to maintain at times, with an enhanced basic attack that can hurt more than it helps depending on the fight. Not having a potential makes her current damage number still that of a 1.1 unit, which is impressive that she lasted this long, but she doesn't hit as much as the stronger Anomaly agents. Finally, sharing the physical matchup chart hurts her outside of Miasmic Fiend. She just doesn't have too many great fights in Deadly Assault. DJ, play that intro. My favorite unit has returned with a great potential, and much like Oprah, everyone gets a bloom. In my opinion, placements 6 through 4 are all interchangeable, depending on the fights and what you value the most. For Bernice, there are two major things that put her up this high: a simplistic playstyle with decent damage, just make sure you maintain her heat, and it's really just that simple. And the best support ultimate of all Anomaly with a built-in quick assist. Great if you're running Astral Voice, but that's about all she has going for her, with a huge amount of negatives. First, she cannot be a solo DPS Anomaly agent. This is huge if you wanted to run her with, let's say, a support and stunner. This isn't a good option. Next, she has by far the worst basic attack combo. While you won't use it often and instead use her enhanced basic attack, it's so bad you don't even want to. Finally, when you look at her matchup chart, it's actually awful. At least Physical has Miasmic Fiend, but Bernice, she has 0. I had to cope and give her Evelyn's boss, Notorious Pompey, just so she had something, since it has no negative for Anomaly, but it has no benefits either. Truly cursed, not a bad unit, but the game isn't kind to her. The off-field girls stick together. Next, we have Vivienne. Extremely easy to play, with sometimes having too much resources if you're playing really good and the boss is being aggressive with perfect parries. The best Anomaly element in the game without a second thought. She buffs your Anomaly damage and disorder damage, and has the best quick assist basic attack of all Anomaly agents, pairing greatly with Astra. Even looking at her Deadly Assault matchup chart, this is by far the best of any Anomaly agent so far, with 5 great fights. But what holds her back is one thing, mainly like with Bernice, it's the reliance on another Anomaly agent. If you created a brand new account, your only option is Piper unless you rolled into Grace, neither of which can activate their core passive with Vivienne. This isn't ideal. While Jane and Bernice are tradable in the shop when looking at a new player account, it would take a lot of time or money. And with Nangong's release around the corner, I see Anomaly stunners being a huge game changer, and Vivienne's restrictive team building isn't ideal for this. Now we are on to the final version 1 unit, Yanagi, who honestly suffers from one thing only: she released before Miyabi's power creep. If you gave her 2.0 multipliers, she is top 3, no problem, truly one of the most versatile Anomaly kits. There's a reason no other agent has gotten polarity disorder, because it's so busted. From being able to activate 2 disorders by herself, she is a Miyabi and Alice dream unit. Her basic attack combo Quick Swamp aren't too bad either, but can be something that takes time to get accustomed to since she is a stance agent. But being able to still be ran as a main DPS and sub DPS as a 1.3 agent, it is fantastic, giving her the most practical team setups of any Anomaly agent. However, she does have a few glaring flaws. Stance management is hard, buff timers aren't shown as a sub ally, so remembering to change can be an issue. She's very energy hungry, and without Yuzaha feeding her energy, she can fall behind, alongside not doing great in content that spawns waves of enemies, since she wants to fight enemies that already have Anomaly statuses applied. And much like with Grace, her Deadly Assault matchup spread is awful, so most of the time you want to run her as a sub DPS, only opting to use her as a main DPS in Shiyu Defense where conditions are more favorable. The big 3, starting us off with Alice, who is our first modern Anomaly unit, being the first of the big 2.0 power creep, or what some people like to call Miyabi Light Edition, with a skill set and abilities quite similar to the Frost Queen herself, which is part of the reason she is this high up. Just being anything like Miyabi is great on its own, but releasing after her and being below means she does have some glaring issues. But what makes her good is her Polarity Assault effect, the second best basic attack rotation, the best core passive of any Anomaly agent that allows her to be ran in multiple setups since it's Anomaly or support, which is great for Anomaly stunner teams, while also boosting total disorder damage, but her being below Miyabi does mean she does come with some glaring issues. First, her Wenjin being one of the best things about her since it provides the Anomaly Mastery stat, which is rare among Wenjins. While she benefits greatly from this order, her buildup isn't as fast as Miyabi when getting to her enhanced basic attack, and she doesn't do quite as much damage since all of her damage is from anomaly effects. And like the previous two physical agents, when looking at her matchup spread in Deadly Assault, it's just not that great since Miasmic Fiend is her only great fight and everything else can be considered mid at best. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. She isn't number one? Yup, our Frost Queen in this list won't be number one, and it's hard for me to even say that since her damage is amazing, and if damage was all that matters, she would still be number one. But it's everything else that holds her back. First, let's look at what makes Miyabi so damn great. The best basic attack combo of any Anomaly agent with a free parry, her dashes cover distance like it's no joke, no boss can escape her, the flexibility of her teams and costs can be the lowest of any Anomaly agent depending on the fight, and her enhanced basic attack is just amazing, dealing great damage, can delete small enemy waves like it's nothing, but those negatives, man, where do we even begin? First, her signature, it gaps every other Wenjin option so hard, you're like using a potato version of the character. Her stat requirements, most Anomaly agents can get by with 20 to 25 effective stats, while Miyabi, you're looking at 35 to 40. That means each piece needs 4 effective rolls with 4 lines being ideal. She is easy to play and extremely hard to master. Depending on the fight and the level of game knowledge, it's exhausting, and she doesn't have the same level of protection newer Void Hunter level characters have, so she gets hit in more aggressive fights. Also, her core passive being Faction and not Anomaly does hurt her if the meta setup requires 2 Anomaly and 1 Stunner in the future. Finally, the most blatant is developers hate her. Look at her Deadly Assault matchup chart. If the boss released after 2.0, it's practically mid or bad unless you cope and brute force her. Not to mention everything released after 2.0 being freeze resist makes it so her most accessible team has been destroyed in later fights. So unless they rerun a 1.0 boss, good luck. You better have Yuzuha now. This is why she cannot be number one in this current meta, even if her damage numbers are still higher. Now we stand at the apex of Anomaly agents, with the new Shield agent rocking the best Anomaly element in the game, with the best Anomaly team in the game, with the most drip. Aria, I hate to see Miyabi lose this, but there's something that put her above, and if you ask me who to build for your account, when I see Vesper having people work their ass off to get that 20k with good builds, I'm like, well damn, if you had Aria, could have been chilling. But it's not even just the new bosses, she stomps all of the old previous bosses as well. And did I mention she is easy to play as well? Just look at the matchup chart, 5 bosses she killed with low effort, just holding down the basic attack. And did I mention the new shield mechanic being built into her kit? Yeah, that's Ether Veil. This is going to be what holds Miyabi back for sure, once they start adding it to more and more characters. But having all of the newer abilities such as the Bloom and Ether Veil and be extremely easy to use while deleting every Anomaly boss puts her at the top of this mountain. But every character has a weakness, so let's take a quick look at her. First, teams. Honestly, you can argue Miyabi above solely because Aria wants Angel of Delusion members. She doesn't want anyone else. You can cope and run Yuzuha, but her best team will consist of a very expensive team lineup of 3 S-rank agents who release back to back. The main reason for this is because you want enemies to be in the stun status to deal the most amount of damage possible, which is only possible with a stunner. Speaking of which, her third and final team member at the time of recording this video isn't out yet, but I'm using a bit of foresight just to make sure the video isn't outdated in 3 weeks. Next, her Wenjin is absurdly strong as well. While you can get by with Weeping Gemini or Fusing Compiler, you really want her signature as the Anomaly Mastery boost is a huge deal. So while she may be number one, she isn't going to be easy to get to that level. And if you didn't roll for Sunna, may as well consider this not doable for you at this time. And her real placement is second. But let me know, where did you place everyone? Did you agree with me or disagree? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and follow for more. My next video will be on supports, but I will let the comments decide what style I do after that. So leave a comment down below on what type you'd like to see next, and the comment with the most likes will win. I will see you on the next video.